Okay, so videography versus cinematography. Which one do you want? See, the thing is with videography versus cinematography, it could all be wrapped up into the word vision. See, a cinematographer has a vision and they will do everything that they can and as many times as they can to capture their vision. However, a videographer doesn't necessarily lack vision, but they want to capture things in the moment. A videographer will mainly capture weddings, events, concerts, raw interviews that are unscripted, while a cinematographer will have the perfect lighting, the perfect audio, the perfect ambiance to whatever they're shooting. Think of it like this. A videographer thinks, how can we capture this as this happens? While a cinematographer thinks, how should this specific shot feel? Cinematographers are very purpose-driven and they're essentially visionaries. They have a scene in their head that they want to craft and capture and perfectly capture the essence and the feeling of a shot. While a videographer's like, I'm going to go to this wedding, I'm going to retell this wedding story the best way I possibly can. And it's really hard to differentiate a videographer from a cinematographer because they have the same exact equipment, they look like they're doing the same exact thing, but the final result is ever so slightly different. A videographer is a documentarist. I don't even know if that's a word, but they capture these like documentary series of things and they retell those stories of those documentaries. Just as is. They have a list of questions, they capture the answers of these people that they didn't know they were going to ask those questions, and it's all unscripted and it's raw, and sometimes you just feel it. But that's sometimes you just feel it. As a wedding videographer myself, I try my best to make sure that my couples feel their wedding day. I try to add a little bit of cinematography to my videography business. That way, my couples feel like they're reliving their day. However, a cinematographer on a wedding day isn't necessarily what you want because they will be like, all right, we're gonna do that again. All right, we're gonna do that again. All right, we're gonna do that again, because they're trying to make it absolutely perfect. When personally, I love the raw, candid stuff. I feel like sometimes you feel that way more. But as a videographer, I'm trying to retell the story exactly how it happened. As a cinematographer, I will recreate those emotions the best I can, no matter how many takes. So there is this like pros and cons of having a cinematographer versus a videographer for a wedding. However, for a commercial, you want a cinematographer. You don't want a videographer that'll be like, all right, we're gonna give it our best shot, we're gonna do this like once, and then we're gonna move on. No. Cinematographers know, and directors know, and filmmakers know that when you shoot something like a commercial, you do 3 takes minimum, even if every take was perfect, because there's a different iteration of feeling behind every single take. This YouTube video alone, I have reshot probably 4 times because I want it to feel a very specific way. If you want something that feels just perfect, that feels intended, hire a cinematographer. If you want someone to capture your day and retell that story of that concert, of that wedding, or of that corporate event, and you want someone to retell that story perfectly, hire a videographer. It's that simple. If you feel like you learned something, hit that like. If you feel like you want to know more, hit that subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about what I do, drop a comment down below. Until next time, see you guys later.